Hey y'all, Taylor Lauren here. Make sure that y'all like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any of my uploads. On my channel, I talk about my life as a beauty queen, wife, and mama. So if that interests you, make sure that you subscribe and check out some of my other videos. Today, I have got baby B with me. I've got my daughter Blair, and I wanted to share with y'all about her baby eczema journey and how we have been adjusting to it, how we've been dealing with it, the products that we use on her, and all of that good jazz. So she was born in November. She's gonna be 5 months in just a few days, and she's just my big girl. She's my big girl. She's looking out the window now. It's like her favorite thing to do. So her skin started to get really bad maybe about a month ago. We're like in early April now, so in early March it started to get real bad. So she was born in November. In the wintertime, cold. We're in Atlanta, so our winters are like really dry. And we didn't take her out a lot in the beginning, but she was always just really dry. And she had cradle cap really bad as well. Oh gosh.
She spit up.
Yeah, can you bring me a burp? Thank you.
I brought two.
Dada to the rescue. Okay, where was I? Okay, yeah, so she was just always really dry. She had cradle cap real bad, but it started, and I was probably giving her baths twice a week. We started giving her baths maybe like after the first month. Was giving her bath twice a week. And then if she would poo, we would kind of give her a bath on poo days as well. And about a month ago in early March, I started noticing that it got really bad. She would just have patches and they started weeping. Her cradle cap was still really bad too. And I think the defining factor was it was starting to get warm here in Atlanta, so I started taking her out for walks in the evening. And we would go on walks for like 30 minutes to an hour, and I think the heat may have been too much for her skin since she had never like been exposed to heat that way, because she's just been in the house. She was a newborn, so I think that had a defining factor. And when her skin started weeping, y'all, it really freaked me out. I don't have eczema. My husband doesn't have eczema, but their dry skin does run on like his side of the family. So I don't have experience with eczema. So when her skin started weeping, I was like, oh my God, like what's happening to my kid? Then I started doing research, found that it was, attached to eczema. And so we scheduled a dermatologist appointment, but we were not able to get in until the end of the month, until the end of March. So from there, I started, researching on YouTube and all of that kind of stuff, was trying all the creams. My cousin even made me like a homemade shea butter, and it worked for a while, but her skin just like kept weeping, and her patches were so red. As you can see, my baby is very light, so any little scratch or anything is visible on her skin, so you can imagine what these patches were looking like. And so then I do know that I have another cousin whose baby has eczema, or had it like really bad, kind of in this same age, and she sent us a lot of Aveeno products. And at the time we were using Baby Dove. I wasn't really sure if it was making a difference because we have been using it on her kind of like since the beginning. And even still at her pediatrician appointments, the doctor would notice how dry she was, and she would say, okay, try this soap, yada yada. So that's how we got on, Baby Dove. And so while we were waiting for the derm appointment, we found the Aveeno creamy wash and the eczema therapy kind of like lotion, the Eucerin eczema therapy, and the Bella B cradle cap shampoo. And I'll show you guys kind of all of these products. And I really love the Eucerin. It really clears up her weeping. She hasn't her skin hasn't wept since. And so I was using that on her during the day and using the Aveeno therapy at night. And so that was really working very, very well. The Bella Bee was working very, very well as well. She hasn't had cradle cap since. Her scalp is kind of like a little dry because she's on her back a lot still. And she's experimenting now with, trying to roll over and all that kind of stuff. But her scalp is just like a little dry, but she doesn't have cradle cap anymore. It's not like flaky, and y'all, it was really, really bad. Like, it would be on her forehead, behind her ears, and her scalp. Her stork bite would crust over and everything. It was really, really bad. And so we finally were able to get in with the derm, and they confirmed, yeah, she's got baby eczema. Hopefully she'll grow out of it. We never really know. It's a 50% chance. They did prescribe a steroid cream for her, and with the steroid cream, I was really nervous because I had seen other videos on YouTube about like just kids about it working, but kids' skin becoming really dependent on it. So I was like, okay, so we're going to apply this kind of slowly, implement it slowly to her body. So I normally apply it at night, and I was still applying her Aveeno therapy first, and I would apply just a little bit of the steroid cream on top of that. So I wasn't giving it to her raw, so to speak. So I basically mixed them together, and I started implementing it like on a limb at a time. Her eczema patches were really kind of showing up on her thighs, in her elbows, and in her knees, and like under her neck. Basically like her fat pockets where she doesn't get a lot of air because she's chunky. So I started applying it on, one leg for a few days, and maybe after 2 days I would add it to the other leg, and then her arms, and then eventually like under her neck and her cheeks and all that kind of stuff. And y'all, I know steroid creams get a lot of like bad heat because, moms, we want to be like organic and everything. Is that some good fingers? But I am pleasantly surprised with the steroid cream, especially using it in combination with the Aveeno and the Eucerin, things that we had already been using on her for a month plus. And her skin has cleared up so well. Like, I'm very happy. And luckily, she never scratched. I just think she probably like didn't really know she was itching, or that like her skin could feel better, so to speak, because it was always like this. But luckily she never scratched, and she never bled or anything like that. She didn't seem irritated by her eczema. But now her skin is just visibly so much better. I will insert some pictures. When we were using the Aveeno and the Eucerin without the steroid cream, it pretty much cleared up her weeping and her patches within like a week of using. And when it cleared up, so it completely stopped her weeping. Now, as far as her patches go, it didn't completely dissolve her redness, but it did make it much, much better. She also had like those tiny like little pimples, and I think at one point she did have heat rash because we were going on walks so much, and that was probably a fault on my end. I should have implemented her into the heat like slowly and probably should not have had her outside for like an hour or so a day. I probably should have cut that down in half. So her body was most likely reacting to that. But now she's like, her skin is just so clear and so much better and so smooth. And like I said, she never seemed irritated by it. But like as a parent, if it looks painful, you kind of just assume it's painful. So I'm happy that while we were waiting to get in at the dermatologist, that I was able to kind of do research and see other moms' experiences like on the internet. And I'm really grateful that we had that Eucerin and that Aveeno, because I know now that those are products that work for her, and we can combine them with her steroid cream. So she looks so much better. I will give you guys kind of like a close-up of what her skin looks like now, and I'll insert those pictures, and I'll also show you guys the products that we use on her. Say hey, mommy. Okay, guys, so this is her skin now. She scratched herself on her forehead, so that's that. But here in her pockets, completely clear. Yeah, you gonna let me see? You can get your fingers back. and here. Just clear and smooth. She always has like a little redness on this cheek because her drool always seems to go this way, and she has like some little drool rash under her neck. You can't stick your fingers all the way down your throat, girl. But that's just due to drool. That's not her eczema. And she had really bad dry patches here in these little fat divots, and that is completely cleared up too. So much better. Say yeah. Say I'm a clear. Say I have a clear complexion now. Yeah. You happy girl? Happy girl? Say bye. Okay, y'all, so this is the Eucerin that we use, Eucerin Eczema Relief Cream. I keep this in her day caddy. We haven't really had to use it much during the day because mixing the Aveeno and her steroid cream has given us such an improvement. So at first I was like applying this to her maybe twice a day. Before we got to the dermatologist, in addition to the Aveeno at night. But now we haven't really had to use this at night or during the day because her skin has improved so much. You can see the level of it. It's like one down from the rich, so it's really effective. So after we finish up the Aveeno, we'll probably use this on her at night too, because I pretty much only have to moisturize her at night now. But I do still love the Eucerin, so we'll probably just keep this on hand and the Aveeno for her at all times. Now for her nighttime moisture, so this is just kind of the setup that I have in her room. She still eats maybe once or twice in the middle of the night, so I just kind of have a station laid out here. So at night, every night, this is what we do. Oh, I also forgot to mention to you guys that before going to the derm, I was giving her a bath twice a week. We've cut that down to once a week, and I think that has improved as well. She's not in daycare. She's home with me all day, and we try to go for a 30-minute walk in the evenings if the weather is good, so she's not really getting dirty. She's a 5-month-old. So this is the steroid cream that the dermatologist prescribed, the Desanide. It's very light, very creamy. It is clear, and yeah, it's done great on her skin. And this is the Aveeno Eczema Therapy. So every night I will give her like a light wipe down after she's eaten, because she gets messy sometimes. We are experimenting with solids. So I'll give her a wipe down and not a bath. We'll do a whole bath, which is just like a wipe down with a warm rag. And I will apply this to her first, basically all over. And then I'll apply this to her on top of the Aveeno. And I think doing it in combination really helps. She hasn't had any type of reactions to the steroid cream. She doesn't seem irritated by it or anything. So I would say if your baby has been prescribed a steroid cream, I don't know how many are on the market. This is the one we got from our derm. I really do like it. It's very light. It doesn't have a fragrance or anything like that. I would highly recommend applying it to your baby in combination with, something else, just so that they don't have a reaction, just so that their skin doesn't become too dependent on it or anything. And there have even been nights where I've skipped it and she hasn't had any flare-ups or any patches or anything like that. So I think doing it in combination really helps her skin to not become, dependent on it and, go crazy if you miss a day or whatnot. And I think applying it in increments to the body instead of, all over at once is good too. They say that with skincare, when you're trying something new, implement it slowly and don't try too many new things at once. Our baby's skin is no exception. So that's that, y'all. I hope that you enjoyed this video on Blair's baby eczema and kind of how we're dealing with it. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.